This is a
Good time, Charlie?
production.
On your marks, get set, play.
I love that.
Good favor.
That I really like.
That is delicious.
Bakers, your time is up.
Welcome back to the tent. It's Krème. It's a great British Bake Off podcast hosted by me, the Internet Sarah 13. Wow, I just ran that over, didn't I? The Internet's Tayro 713. Of course, with the homies Nick Jew.
Because I'm still not over it. Wagwan, Delilah.
Of course, the big homie Ant.
Hey, how's it going?
And of course, I'm going to start you early. Here is Bakers Make the World Go Round. I'm going to get you that right now. Let's make sure I got the volume tapped up on it this week. It is. But you're going to push play. Bakers make the world go round. Because we're joined by a special guest this week, Miss Victoria Walters. You know her from the very first episode of this season of The Great American Baking Show. Victoria, thank you so very much for joining us. How goes it?
Hi. It's good.
So, madam, tell us about yourself.
I am Victoria Walters. I live in Philadelphia. I'm a baker, obviously. I'm also a UX researcher, photographer, and mom.
Excellent.
Now, are you a native Philadelphian or are you from somewhere else?
I am not a native Philadelphian, but I've been here since 2007. So I feel like I can kind of like almost call myself a Philadelphian at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm originally from Harrisburg. I grew up in Harrisburg.
Okay.
Bruh. I have my partners has some friends in Harrisburg, and that is for whatever reason one of the worst drives if you're coming from Cleveland, because it's like all of Pennsylvania. It's
a lot of turnpike. There. That's not fun. No.
It is a journey.
Yeah,
But
not a
Hershey's
gorgeous drive.
So you can kind of go. You can kind of go hit up Hershey, and that's kind of nice.
Yep, and that's like 20 minutes from where I grew up. So like all the teachers at our school used to work there in the summer. Yeah, very close.
Nice, very cool. Well, how long have you been a baker?
I've like literally been baking since I was 2. Like my mom always had us in the kitchen. I was helping mix and do stuff. I was really verbal, really young. So there's like this iconic video of me on I think it's my 3rd birthday. So I'm 2 going on 3, and I'm making this carrot cake, and she's asking me what ingredients are in there. And I think my new word of the day was cinnamon. So she's like, what are those things we broke into there? And I was like, oh, that was the cinnamon. So yeah.
There is a picture of my youngest, who just became a senior in high school at the end of last week, helping me in the kitchen when they were super little bitty. So I like that. I like that has carried on through your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
My kid doesn't cook as much as he used to.
I know when they're little, you can get them to do a lot more. Like my son's like 1.5, and we have the kitchen tower, so he's always in there trying to help. And when we do cook together, he's like, I pour like something into a measuring cup, and then I give it to him, and I don't know how he turns it so fast, but it's like all over the floor.
Yeah. Just enjoy the quick dash. I love it. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. How did you well, hold on. I have a whole set of questions, so I guess I should run through them, but I need to know, man, what you do? Like, I'm going to England. I got a baby. How did that all work out?
So like my original like application was 2020. And then in 2022, they called me and they were like, we like you. Do you want to do this again? And I was like, absolutely, but I'm pregnant. So I was basically going to be having my son when they were filming. And I even called my insurance. I was like, can I have a baby in England? But they did not call me back. I think they were like, no, way too risky. Absolutely not. So then they called me again in 2023. And I was like, yeah, like I'll try again. I haven't been baking in a while. Like, who knows what's going to happen? And then I got the call that I like actually was going to be on the show. And I was like, okay, I guess we're going to make this happen. So he was like 10 months old.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah. So his first birthday was actually the day of the picnic. So that could have been his birthday if we had stayed, but we didn't stay because it was.
So did you leave and come back, or did you stay through the whole filming process?
I went, and then like the way the timing worked out is that I got off the show 2 days before my husband and my son arrived. So no matter what, they were going to come.
They were coming. Okay.
Yeah. And we have like a few friends in Europe. So we had already like arranged some meetups. So we were like, regardless, we will at least have a good time and take a week-long vacation. Mm-hmm. I did not think I was going to get off on the first episode. I thought if anything, it was going to be bread week. Because bread week's dicey, it's bread, it's tough. But so I was like, okay, if I get past bread week, like we'll stay the whole time. If I don't get past bread week, we'll probably like just stay a week or so and leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had a plan. You were kind of ready.
We had a plan. Yeah. We had to have a plan. Originally, when I was first auditioning, they were like, "Oh, would you leave your son?" And I was like, "Sure." Like they're not gonna pick me,
right? Like I'm just trying to get on the show.
It kept getting closer, and I was like, "Listen, like I have to be able to see my son. Like I'm still nursing. Like I need to be able to be near him."
Yeah.
So they got an Airbnb that was kind of close to where we were being housed.
Very good.
Okay.
I love it. Actually, that's so cool. All right, back to the baking side of the business. When did you be like, yo, not only can I bake, but I can bake? When did you think to yourself, yo, I might have the chops?
I don't know. I guess I always had some good confidence in myself. My mom's a really good baker. And I was like, well, I'm like at least as good as my mom. And then when I got married in 2014, I made my wedding cake and a few other cakes for the wedding.
Oh, wow.
We had like 7 cakes total. My aunt made one of them, my sister-in-law made one of them, and I made the rest. And then I also made my best friend's wedding cake that year. And then I've basically done 1 or 2 wedding cakes since then. So it's kind of funny, like wedding cakes have sort of been my bread and butter. Cake is my thing, but it was cake week.
Damn.
But I will say people who are cake bakers usually have a lot of time.
Yes.
So I'm used to being able to bake a cake. I put it in the freezer. I work with it frozen. I have time to make those fillings ahead of time. It's a lot of time to do the decorating and things like that. Like I've got highlights on my Instagram of me doing that kind of thing. And it's a whole process. And this is a totally different wheelhouse.
Right.
Were you kind of a fan of the Bake Off before this?
Yes. Huge fan of the Great British Bake Off. My sister-in-law and I used to watch it like back in the Mary Berry days. Love it. Love Prue too, but Mary Berry's the OG. So, we used to watch it all the time. And when I found out it was like a possibility for me to audition for a show and they were going to be judging, I was like, this is super cool. Like I have to go for this.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of like it's why I like the Roku version better than the ones that came before it. It's because you brought in Paul and Prue, you brought in the tent. At this point, you actually do go to England. I was like, this is what this is it. This is what it should be. And now it's kind of like, I love it. I love how it's popping off.
Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to the perfect formula for sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
I still think we don't have enough bakers in the American version. I want the full, dozen or 11, whatever it is. But we'll get there. Plus, they shoot. I know they shoot in American style, so it kind of means you kind of got to do 8. Although we had 9 last year. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. But then they had to do a double elimination, and apparently audiences don't love a double elimination.
They are wrong. I love
the drama. And then, it's funny because then we had one. Yeah. Oh, well, you guys, I guess we're done.
No, check it out. Well, no, because we only do it week by week. I'm unaware of how this plays. I don't know how anything's going.
Yes.
I'm only on bread week. We only which is what we're going to discuss after this. What was your general UK experience like? You know what I'm saying? I was kicking it over there. Brad was telling us how like multiple flours and multiple sugars and stuff like that for a baker, but it just in general, what was the vibe like hanging out in merry old England?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I love traveling. We love Europe. I know England is not Europe, but it's basically Europe. And so right? I mean, I love hearing the
Brexit.
like British accents all the time. Yes, exactly. Brexit. they were Europe. They're not anymore.
Yeah.
One of my little sister's best friends lives there, so I got to like hang out with her. She took me out for Sunday roast when I got there. Like that was awesome. Yeah, I mean, I just like it's so pleasant. The British accents are just so pleasant. But yeah, no, the grocery shopping was crazy. Everything is so different. Like he said, like all the dairy, all the sugars, the flours, like I had cake flour in my bake and they don't really have an equivalent. They don't do bleached flour. Cake flour is a bleached flour. So, it was tough to figure out like what to even practice with. And my cake initially like was not working. It was like too acidic. I had to change some things and they do give us a few days to do that, but it's a lot of pressure. Using the different oven. I don't use convect at home. Using the induction cooktop, that was different. I figured that out though. And I would like send out a little video tutorial to like the group. Because once we all got in a group chat, you know, we're pinging back and forth like, hey, like I need an extra sifter or whatever, you know, running around in the building.
Yeah. That in the Celsius, I would have been like, no.
Luckily, like the Celsius honestly wasn't that big of a deal. Like because we were writing our recipes that way anyway. Yeah. So that wasn't a huge deal, but yeah, it was a lot of different things to acclimate to on top of the jet lag. We had about 4 days to do that.
Oh, good Lord. So at least you're on the East Coast, so you know you kind of had like 5 hours, right?
Yes. I had a little bit of an advantage, sure.
Yeah, one of the things that really that Brad really shed light on me was not opening up the oven until like you have to kind of call for it. I know when I'm baking and like I made brownies the other day. Like I was doing something else, running up back and forth upstairs, and somebody say, "Hey, wait a second," those seconds count.
Absolutely, so, yeah. I do think that may have made a difference because like. For my overbakes, like it was like 1 or 2 minutes. And you know that in your own oven. Like I know exactly like that jiggle, like I know how much time I need to put on the timer for that. And so it's like knowing your oven, being able to open it maybe more frequently than you can on the show. And then like there's the other thing that like I feel like there was no keeping track of time in the tent. Like they're telling you the times and you can ask the time anytime you want from people who are around. But like when I'm at home, I get nervous that like my assistants have not kept track of my timer. And so I'll ask and I'm always like 30 seconds off. Like it's like, oh, in 30 seconds, your timer's going to go off. In the tent, I never felt that. Like I didn't feel like any centering around that. It was like, I couldn't get grounded. And like at home, like I have a toddler running around. So remember, it's chaos. I have my mom asking me a million questions, you know, while I'm doing all this practicing. I was like, this is so annoying, but honestly, this is probably really good practice. Mm-hmm. And I love my mom. She's great, but she does ask a lot of questions. So like, yeah, I mean, it's just, you can't, it's almost like you can't prepare for it.
Yeah.
You do the best you can.
Exactly. That's the process.
And everyone has the same barriers, right?
Yeah, for sure. And you also sent me 5 hours from home away from my baby. Stop it. It's okay. Right. How was your audition process? I'm saying, like, again, Brad kind of gave us the work, but what was your audition process like? You said you got your initial kind of stuff here in 2020, but when you bring it back around, what are they telling you?
So when I got brought back around, I don't think I had to do the quiz that time. I think they were like, we got it. Like, she definitely knows how to bake. So I, earlier this time, got to go to New York. Last time, I think it was the very end of the audition process, and it was kind of very rushed. This time, I got to go to New York a little bit earlier, but it was still like between the time they told me and the time I went to New York was maybe like a week. Had to figure out what I was going to bake, which I had the year before that, I made this pineapple cake for my sister's wedding. So it looked like a pineapple. And it's kind of funny because I felt like it was like this original idea, but I had not yet seen last year's season. And Diana made that gorgeous, realistic pineapple. So anyways, mine was definitely not as good.
Was amazing.
It was absolutely insane. Absolutely. I mean, it looked so realistic. So my pineapple did not look like that, but it tasted very good. It was a coconut cake with a pineapple curd and then a coconut Swiss meringue buttercream.
There we go.
Yeah, really yummy.
Every time, so like as a part of the show, whenever something like Swiss meringue buttercream comes up, I know the average viewer doesn't know what that means. So then I have to go through and I get to the step and I tell the viewer of it because it's specific. It's like the Swiss do it this way, the French do it this way. Italians doing this, and it turns out the Germans got something going on. It's custard, and I'm like, what is happening here? So
it's true. It's true. They say Swiss is like a little like Italian is the most stable, but seems like Swiss gets a little like creamier and like pipes better without any bubbles. Maybe. I don't know. All the Instagram bakers do Swiss.
Fair.
I've been an Italian girl. Like for my wedding, I did Italian. I've been doing a lot of Italian, and I am half Italian, so maybe that's part of it.
Fair. you know what you're cooking with, so it's all right.
But yeah, so like I got feedback from that audition in New York, and I was like, I don't know. She was very critical. Like I'm still not sure. Like I baked so many more. Like Brad talked about that list of things that they ask about. Have you baked this? And I baked so many more of them, like almost all of it. But I still wasn't sure. I was like, she was really critical. I don't know. Like, and then I got the call to go to LA, and I was like, this is amazing. I can't believe I'm going to LA. Like, this is the peak. Like, there's no way I'm making it out of the show. The peak is going to LA. So, and my sister lives in LA, my youngest sister. So I was like, we're making a weekend out of it. It was my mom's birthday weekend, which actually it's my mom's birthday today. And yeah, happy birthday, Karen. But yeah, so I was like, it's perfect. We'll like bring Luca, like that's my son. Like we'll go make this a whole thing. We're getting a visit out of this. I get to go to LA and do the show. Like this is so awesome. Cause like I was ecstatic about telling people I even auditioned for the show.
Right. But you're going to like the final. Yeah.
I think there were 40 of us there. They had us in 2 groups. And I was across the table from Chris and next to Royoon.
Oh, wow.
And RJ was at the other table behind me, and I had met him like while we were chit-chatting before we went in. And I knew they were going to cast RJ. Like I just like heard a little bit of his story, and I was like, they're going to cast him. Like he's a good looking guy, military, like super, super nice. Like, yeah, they're casting him. And then I had a feeling they were going to cast Royoon and Chris as well. And I think maybe they wanted to see us interact together. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay. I like that little sneak for you.
I don't know. That's my hunch. But, they film you during the process to, I think, like, see how you're doing. And when they came to film me, my cake was already in the oven. And they were like, oh, that was really fast. And I was like, oh, thanks.
Like, guess what? I can bake. It's not a joke.
But I was like, I actually thought that was like a bad thing because like I wasn't doing anything while I was talking to them.
Fair. And start cleaning up.
Yeah. Like
make it look that way. Like, yeah, I am wiping off the counter. See, well, I didn't ask Brad this. So I get to ask you this: did you have to pay to go to LA, or did they give you a ticket?
No, they pay for you to go to LA. They did not pay for my family to go to LA, but they did pay for me. We'll take a free ticket.
Because I was like, man, if you had to pay to go to LA, that's kind of wild. But I just, there you go. See, I didn't know that.
No, but everyone pays their own way to go to that first audition. So
yeah.
I'm lucky that it was New York for me. That's only 2 hours. My other sister lives in New York. I can like stay at her place. I think Nicole drove like 11 hours for hers because she lives in rural Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh,
she had to go to Chicago, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because Brad had to go to Chicago as well. So it's like that's probably where that's like the Midwest people go here.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would have done it if I had to drive that far. Like that's prohibitive because it's early in the process too.
Yeah, true. I don't know.
I also hate
drive.
driving. I hate
Oh,
driving.
see,
You could come drive me to the audition. There we go.
I too would love to be a passenger princess, but I don't have nobody to drive the car, so I have to drive the car.
I love a road trip. That's just
I
me,
hate driving.
I'm like a really good car sleeper, so I'm a great passenger if you don't want to talk to your passenger.
It kind of sounds like the Google process of hiring almost, because I know somebody who because like those first initial like meetups, like you have to go to it, and then as the further along you get, they pay for more stuff. They're like, oh well, we'll have you here and here and here, but that first initial one is on you. Like, so that's what I mean. I know it's not the same, but that's what it sounds like to me.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Fair.
Maybe they took a note.
Maybe
right out there, Google. Let's keep
it's pretty industry standard. In another life for another show, I have auditioned for a couple of reality things, and it all is pretty much the same.
Okay.
See, Nick got stories that
well, because like Victoria's situation is kind of similar. Once you get into their database or whatever, they'll keep calling you, if not necessarily for the same show, for other shows by the same production company.
Oh, dig.
Look out, Top Boy.
That means you could probably show up somewhere else one day, and I can be like, I know that lady. If it happens, I'm taking advantage of that. Okay. Would you? Let's just say you got friends and you think, yeah, you're not too bad at a baker. You should maybe try for it. Would you recommend people try out for this, or you're like, nah, bruh?
we keep joking that my husband should, because we had a watch party in Philly and he made the cupcakes and they were so good. And I was like, you're up next. I'm like, we got the inside scoop on everything.
Right.
No. So yeah. I think I would recommend it, but it has to be for like a specific type of person. I think you have to want to be on TV. Because like the thing is, they're making a show.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're baking in your own kitchen. They're very much still making a show. So you have to want that and know that that's going to be happening. And kind of like anything can happen because you're not in your own kitchen. And I think it's probably helpful if you want to do something with like the leverage you're getting, like, you know, you're being shown on TV. I don't really want to do anything.
Yeah.
I might want to do like a box. So I've seen people on Instagram do a thing where like they make whatever they want. Like, you know, you make a cake, you make some donuts, you make some curd, whatever. And everybody gets like a slice of cake, a donut or two. And like, maybe I do like 10 boxes a month or something, like just fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause that's what I like. Like, I like to make people stuff that they're going to enjoy. That's what I get out of it. I don't really want to profit off of it.
So did you have to submit your social media when you auditioned as well?
Oh yeah. I just submit my social media. They comb through it.
Mm-hmm.
I did have to delete a few posts that were like, you know, flipping the bird or whatever, like nothing. I don't have a terrible dark past here, but, some language and some Facebook posts, cause I have like a private Facebook. So, but they still could like access that. Yeah, no, nothing terrible, but it was interesting what they found.
Yeah, because I mean, they're casting you as a personality as much as they're casting you as a baker, and people are real reactive these days. So it would not take much for them to be like, Victoria liked this, and it would be a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
I would have never thought about that. So well done.
Yeah.
Where am I at? There we are. All right, just in general, you get to hang out is a bit thick, but still, you get to hang out with Dame Prue, madam. You get to hang out with Paul, Zach, and Casey. How was all that experience? That's right, because these are the people's people. I truly, truly, truly love Zach Cherry and Casey Wilson, and of course, Paul and Prue. So some people may not know Zach as well as I do, because I really love his roles and stuff like that there, but you know, you get to kick it with some people. And I'm like, that just seems like this is a delight. What was it like for you? Yeah.
No, it was really cool. Like, I told one of my friends that, like, you know, they changed it from Elle to Casey. And she was like, I'm crying right now. I'm so excited. And I was like, I think like the first day I was like, she touched my shoulder. So no, that was really cool. They were both really nice. I think Casey has a kid who's close to the same age as my son. I think her second kid is a little bit closer in age to my son. So we kind of had that in common. And like, you know, not every little bit that you guys talk about, like that we talk about on air gets on air. So like, yeah, we had some nice conversations. I'm very curious what it's like with the British hosts. Like, it seems like they just like hang out.
Yeah, they seem real a part of the operation. I wonder. Yeah, that's weird. But nifty. I understand it because
But you know, I thought they were funny. I thought they did well together. I thought like watching it, I thought they did a good job.
So I'm like super into of course, we host a whole podcast about it. So of course we're super into it. So every now and again, I'll go poke over and Reddit and I'll be like, I don't like Casey and Zach. And I'm like, y'all are tripping. Because they're
I know. I don't know why. There's a lot of haters. But yeah, no, I mean, I love Severance and like, you know, like I watch Happy Endings. Like I'm a fan.
Yeah.
As much as I love that, I don't want to talk to anybody while I'm cooking. I couldn't do it.
I feel like I've been practicing my whole life. I mean, I grew up in a house of 4 girls and like no one stops talking or singing. So like, I honestly, like I thought I was prepared until I got there. And like, honestly, it was so much like the cameras and people talking to you all the time. It's because I feel like for my family, I can tell them to shut up, you know?
Yeah.
How much like production, like people are there? Like if you had to like look around the room, you'd be like, it's like 40 people surrounding me. Or is it like, you know, less than that, I guess?
No, it's like maybe 40 people. It's a lot of people. That middle aisle that you see clear only happens like once a challenge, I would say. So that middle aisle is full of people all the time who are filming and I think it's like PAs and stuff like that. And people who are helping get us stuff. So like, you know, I need a spatula. There's somebody who has like one of the food people has like a purse full of spatulas. So for the most part, that's how we get stuff. There were some cabinets in the back. Those like decorative cabinets do have some extra bowls and stuff. But for the most part, they're bringing things back to you through that middle aisle. And then it's funny, they don't tell you that they're going to disappear, but all of a sudden everybody disappears and that middle aisle is open. And that's when you see those scenes where the bakers are interacting a little bit more and you're like, how's everybody doing? And that was really, really fun. That was fun when we got to do that.
I love this show. I just all you doing is make me love this show more.
Yeah, the BTS is so fun because we have like in our minds we think we know how it goes, but we have no idea. We have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea. And the amount of wasps. I don't know if you guys have noticed that in the scenes.
That's in my notes for Bread Week, that it's a bee or something trying to get in Royoon dough.
And there have been bakers in the past that have told me like I had to remake my buttercream.
Oh, I bet.
Wasp dove in. I had them all over the ginger on my loaf cake. They loved it. I mean, it is nuts. And they actually the proving drawer they call the squirrel drawer because they put all the stuff in there the night before so that the squirrels can't get in.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh! I swear, you are. I could. Yeah, I would faint.
Yeah, it was cool. It was very cool. My favorite part was probably watching the judging of the showstopper. I felt like I was on TV, but just like closer. Like it was so surreal. I was like as I was carrying my cake up and I had like a really big board. I'm sad they didn't show us like walking down with our stuff, but like I was like, I feel so tiny and I can like picture this in my mind on the screen.
Awesome. See, I feel like they only show people walking when like there's some a fall or something falls over, rolls over, and then like, oh, we're gonna show everybody walking this week, so you know somebody dropped something. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, I always feel like somebody's gonna drop something, and I always feel like, I feel like, come on, Paul, take it easy with your cut. Don't cut it so hard. Don't cut it so hard.
Once it's there and he sliced it, I just feel like that's on you. If something falls apart or whatever, like, bro, you did that. You can't, don't pin that on me because
it does have an aggressive cut, right?
Yeah, I just feel like I just spent 4 hours on this and you taking a hatchet to it.
Well, like when he cut the face out of Royoon's bunny.
Right? Oh my gosh. Man. I think he does that just to me, like, but I know that's not true.
Okay, this one Nick came up with. And I'm like, yes, they have to know what's up with your clothes when you're there. Like you have like three same outfits and the same thing. Are they washing your? What is going on here?
Okay, they are not washing our clothes. We have to wash them ourselves. So we had like a typical European style washer dryer combo unit. But it was like, yeah, in the kitchen. It was hot enough that we could like I think I washed and dried mine the night before, or like, you know, the night between, and then stuck it out on the balcony to finish drying, ironed it.
That's risky from a continuity standpoint. Like, what if someone forgets something or they ruin it? I would think that they would want costume people to take care of that.
Well, if you really want, like, you know, curly hair has no predictability whatsoever. So if
From
you
one
really
day to
pay,
the next.
and you know, day 2 hair always grows a little bit. So if you watch some of the judging, you'll see my hair grow in between shots sometimes. Yep. No, yeah, we don't get any hair and makeup people. Prue and Paul do. We do not. And Casey and Zach. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Disrespectful.
It's all us.
All right, so we know you get to kind of try each other's bakes. Did you taste anything over there? You was like, yo, that right there was it. What did you get to try out that you was like, I'm impressed?
Honestly, I don't know. So I don't remember trying the loaf cakes. I don't know if they gave them to us after the showstopper or if I was like pumping when we would get time off. So I don't know if I was just pumping and I missed it or I forget it, but I did have the cakes after the showstopper, but I was like crying because I was going home. So I was not focused. I did get to sample some of the bread week stuff a little bit actually, because I texted everybody and I was like, all right, I'm ready for baked goods again. Like, who wants to give me their practice bakes? And I sent my husband over to get some.
Nice. Oh. See, that's so fun. So again, I was just saying last week, because we were talking about Maddie from last season just got married, and like all the people came back with the exception of 2, and I figured out the 2. The one is the one lady, Christy.
Okay,
she was pregnant again. That's probably why she didn't come to Maddie. And the other one was our man, our little youngin who kept bringing stuff from his garden.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the forager.
I don't know why my man didn't come through, but he might have just, he a doctor. He might have just been busy.
But, I don't know.
Yeah. The point being, I like the little family that seems to come out of these shows. These particular bake-off shows. You get these people. These are young now. These are young folk. You're gonna message and Brad, like I said, Brad, like truly, I want y'all to know so much appreciated y'all. And I know you know it, but I mean, let me tell you from the outsider's perspective, he was telling us like, yo, these are my people. It was such a delightful time, and I like that you guys are kind of a unit now. Going forward, you're always going to probably just shoot the breeze and talk, and if possible, hang out. And I think that's so lovely. I think that's so nice because that's not how most reality shows work. People be, how American reality shows is real hate based.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, to get something like this that's a little more family friendly and so forth. You know what I'm saying? I like the results of that. And like here you are, you get to go, hey man, let me taste something what y'all got baking up over here.
Oh, we are constantly texting about baking. Like, and these people, they all bake all the time. I am not baking quite as much as everyone else because I don't know how Mackenzie has any free time because she's got twins and an 8-year-old, but Mackenzie bakes like every day. I'm probably baking it once, maybe twice a week. I picked up a sourdough habit too. So like I've been doing that, but they're baking all the time. Brad is a machine.
Wow.
He made 168 macarons last week for somebody's wedding. And then he made 15 dozen cupcakes or something for this night market. These like boozy cupcakes. Brad is a machine. So Brad's my buddy because we were the first 2 out. So we got to hang out together in London. The story about like him buying a coin, that was for my son. Yeah. So he's such a sweet man. He's really great. And his wife actually has this like company where she makes these Mickey Mouse ears, and I got some made for my boss from her. These cute. custom mouse ears, Mary Mouse. But yeah, so it's true. Like we talk all the time about baking stuff. I was making these croissants that like RJ recommended the recipe for. I'm like, dude, this is not working. Like, what do I need to do? He's like walking me through it. He's like the gelatin master. He knows all about which ratios you need to use. So yeah, everybody has like, the different expertise, and everyone's helping each other out all the time. Jen is my closest baker. We're New York and Philly, so we're close in proximity, and I got to hang out with her. In like November, we did a little bakery tour, hung out in New York. It was nice.
Excellent. See, that's what I'm talking about. Absolutely love it.
Well, and I'm actually going to hang out with Susan later this summer. So from last season. So we connected the bakers from last season and this season. And it's been really nice.
It's going to be great. I got to all get together and write a book.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
All right. So before this trip to UK, how much international travel had you had under your belt?
I actually have a good bit. So I studied abroad in Japan in college, my junior year. And then my husband studied abroad in Ireland the year after, went to visit him. We went to Spain. And we've pretty much been traveling together ever since. Like every year we at least do an international trip, including 2020. We had to come home a week early, but we went to Thailand on like March 15th. It was like right before the US closed down.
Wow.
And let me tell you, PP was like really great. No one was there.
Hanging out. It's cool. The streets are empty, but it's a good time. Dude,
yeah, I love to travel.
Can you speak Japanese? Are you like?
Not really. I can say a few key phrases, and like enough to just like get around. But I actually like took Spanish in college, and still trying to keep up with it and teach my son Spanish. I'm half Panamanian, half Italian. My dad's from Panama. He did not teach us Spanish, but I've always felt connected to it. So I'm like conversational in Spanish, but not really Japanese. I don't know why I went to Japan. It was the best experience I've ever had though. So I'm so glad I did.
That's funny. My niece actually studied Japanese at Temple, and she went over and spent a semester in Japan.
Oh, did she love it?
She loved it. She was threatening to move there after graduation. And she's not fluent, but she speaks some Japanese, obviously, because she lived there. Yeah.
What I learned is that it's very difficult to learn business Japanese. Like even Japanese people say they don't know business Japanese, and I'm in business, so I was like, well, I'm never going to get to that level, so forget about it. Like,
right.
I want to go to Japan at some point because I'm a huge video game dork, and of course, my lady loves anime and all things Ghibli and so forth and so on. So it's like, at some point we'll get over there. It's all good. I'll not speak a lick of Japanese, but I'll be over there.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
All tall and making people uncomfortable.
I want to take a empty duffel bag and just bring back a bunch of shoes. And,
shoes. Yeah.
See, all I want is records.
I brought back Kit Kats when I
went. I would want snacks.
We have a whole nother show that we do. It's called Snakes, Crunchy, and Milk. And with so much regularity, we get Japanese Kit Kats to review for that particular show. So yes, always on the Japanese Kit Kats. I think they're the best in the world. I think Nestle makes the best Kit Kats. Hershey shouldn't even be in business. But anyway.
But the Reese's.
Reese's.
Hello.
Look.
Hello.
They got it on lockdown, but Nestle's version of Kit Kats are so much better.
I think ginger ale was my favorite flavor I got when I was there. Yeah. So good.
That is my hope now that I can.
we would search in convenience stores they call Konbini, and me and my friend would always go and then we'd run out and be like, yeah, we got a new one.
What's the best one we've had, Ant, if you had to consider?
I think the best one I remember were the bakeable ones.
Yes, they have these. So literally, they give you instructions on the back how to put them on. They put them on foil, put them in a toaster oven. Give them just enough until they get a little caramelization on top of it.
Like a Pop-Tart?
I was going to say a Pop-Tart.
No. So, of course, everybody's had a Kit Kat here. So, when you bake them, they don't melt all the way down. They just get it's kind of like a dumpling. They get the dumpling, the laciness around them.
Yeah, yes. It's so good.
They were incredible.
Yeah, it was one of the best Kit Kats I've ever had in my life. So, I'll tell you right. Yes.
All right, that's the new hunt.
Yeah. They do them because I've noticed they seem to do them every now and again. They do another bakeable version of them, so it's not always the same flavor. The ones we had probably had a.
It was I think it was a cheesecake one. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
But then they've done other flavors they're bakeable as well. So come across the baking ones. Any hobbies outside of the kitchen?
Yeah, so I'm in an a cappella group. I love to read. I like fantasy. Actually, like thought about doing something for the cake with like fantasy theme, but everything's like, syndicated. So you're not allowed to do anything like copyrighted or syndicated or whatever the word is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I read a ton. I'm in a book club. Like I said, I sing. Used to do a decent amount of like singing and like groups and stuff with the church that I was a part of before, but I've kind of like slowed down on that. Other hobbies. I was learning Spanish, took lessons every week. I keep busy.
I like it.
I know you probably
Go ahead.
I know you probably don't have time, but what's a TV show you currently that you don't miss?
Oh, I do. No, I love TV. We have like one episode left of Shogun.
I need to watch this dang show. Everybody keeps talking about it, so
it's so good. Yeah. It's so good, but you have to like watch it because you have to read the subtitles.
Yeah. So I use the English dub. The English dub.
Is it good?
It's really good. Okay. And you still have to read some subtitles because there are certain dialects or whatever. But I really enjoyed the English dub.
Okay.
And the way that they go into it in the first episode, it's subtitles, and then when that bird flies down to land on his hand, it switches to English. It's very dope.
Interesting. Because I know like Squid Game was like not good at the dub version.
I never watched that.
That's good to know.
So wow, well, there's another one that Vanessa just watched the other day. What is it called? Something 8 show or something like that. It's on Netflix now. It's another Korean joint that's wild.
Okay. All right. Gonna be the new hot thing.
I wonder if it's gonna pick up into.
Okay.
My partner watched it, and I was like, "I'm this one of those situations where I'm like kind of watching, but kind of like, yeah, wait a minute, they just killed it." I'm like, okay, so yeah, it's kind of one of those just wild enough.
Yeah, I'm going to start Queenie. It was a book, and now it's a Hulu like exclusive show. But I enjoyed the book, so I'm probably going to watch that soon.
I always do that. Like I heard Black Cake is really good, but I need to read it first. So I'm going to read it and then I'm going to watch it.
See, I've taken the opposite tact because oftentimes if I read it first, I know then you're
mad.
The production.
I know.
You really
but it's always better in the book because you get more detail.
I know.
And perspective.
So that's why I've taken it like, let's get the book after the fact. So like I loved I still do. High Fidelity is one of my favorite books. I love High Fidelity. And then when I went and read High Fidelity, I really appreciate the movie even more because of how very much like the book it is, except the book takes place in England and so forth. So, but the tweaks are good, but I'm like, there you go. Read the book last for me. Jurassic Park did that to me in high school. I read Jurassic Park and then I saw the movie and I was like, I was never right.
I don't even think I knew that was a book.
Oh my God. It's
Michael
such
Crichton,
a good
right?
book too. Michael Crichton was one heck of a writer. So
but yeah, no, I like TV. I get all my recs from my little sister. She works in music supervision, so she like puts music on shows. Yeah. So I get like all my recs from her. She actually her company works on Abbott Elementary, so love that show.
Very cool. See Philly in the house. I love it. Wow. That was it.
All right.
Wasn't that easy?
Yeah, that was great. I love talking to you guys. This is so great. Thank you.
Well,
Thanks for joining us.
If you are so inclined and would like people to keep up with you, where can people follow you at?
I'm at Fork and Krème.
Very good. We follow her over on Skim, so that's what's up.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much for giving us your time and hanging out with us. Who knows? You might be back to talk about this finale. I'm definitely going to bring Brad back in, so we might just have both of y'all on and we'll hang out nonsense about about who wins.
Sounds good. Brad and I can talk with the best of them. So
I love it. She's perfect people to have as guests. Thank you so very much for your time. Have a good rest of your night, and we'll
Thank
talk
you.
to you soon.
Bye.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Baker's make the world go round. A whole 44 minutes of it. Take that. Actually, it probably wasn't 44 minutes because I think we hung out for a little bit beforehand and I had to clean some stuff up. But it was about 40 minutes. I think that's pretty clean. It's bread week, y'all.
It's bread week. Loafers. What's up, loafers?
Yo, bro. The bread fan club. I wrote down them here. The bread fan club bit and Casey's pink outfit were both delightful. And the awful fake tattoos were actually kind of fun too.
Because at first I was like, is it healing? I'm like, oh no, it's just super, super fake.
You know the ones you got to hold the towel on?
Yeah.
Plus my man Wild Furry. You know what I'm saying? As a man with the hairy shoulders, I know. So, you know what I'm saying? But y'all, this was a pretty mid bread week.
Yeah. It was just the things that they chose. Like buns, we not in England. Oh wait, yeah.
And so our bakers in the tent, remaining bakers in the tent are Chris Kokoro, Mackenzie Rubish, Ronald RJ Winter, Nicole Aufdehauer. If I ever talk to that woman, I'm going to get a proper pronunciation of her last name. Trust Roy Yoon Zhang and Jennifer Reyes. Our signature this week, Nick Ju.
Yeah, sweet buns. We need 12 sweet buns. I've got the buns written down as well. It's 12 sweet buns, identical in size, shape, and flavor, made with enriched yeasted bread dough, and it must contain one topping. And the bakers have 3 hours. Tell us about your sweet buns.
So, I'm watching this, and I'm just like, I see the train wrecks happening.
Oh.
And I see it so like I'm just like, ooh, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem. But let's delve into it, people. Chris is up top. He's going for cardamom explosion rolls, orange and black pepper filling of a cardamom flavored dough. Does any of that sound good to y'all?
No.
But I don't really know if I know what cardamom tastes like.
It's kind of cinnamony, kind of nutmeggy vibe.
Okay.
Put the middle between there. And no. And then like as always, Paul Hollywood will tell you something.
Oh.
Just take that advice, okay? Because he's been baking his whole life. Family comes from a family of bakers. But he had already kind of done what he had done with that. And so it's like, oh my, anyway, we'll keep moving. Roy Yoon, pineapple, mochi, custard, bear buns.
No, thank you.
These Asian milk bread buns filled with a custard and mochi with a crackling on top. Crackling, of course, kind of like on the top of a concha. When asked by Paul what method she was using, Roy Yoon said she was using the Tangzong method. So let's discuss the Tangzong method.
Wow.
The Tangzong is an Asian technique that calls for pre-cooking a portion of the raw flour in a recipe with a liquid, usually water or milk, until it forms a paste. Then this paste can be added to the dough, resulting in bread that's tenderer, fluffier, and lasts longer before staling. Mind you, I have never read or seen the word staling. And so I was like, staling? And so I immediately just highlight and go search in Google, and it's like, stale. And staling is the form of becoming stale.
Oh.
Trust, I never knew that was a word. When the flour is cooked to approximately 150 C, 65 C, 150 F, the starches gelatinize as the liquid is absorbed into the starch, which swells as the mixture becomes more viscous and gel-like. This gelatinization is similar to how the exterior of a bagel gelatinizes during boiling. When you do this, the process irreversibly turns the mixture into a sticky starch paste that's then added to the dough during mixing. So, makes for a softer situation. RJ doing the same kind of vibe. He's using the Tangzong method, and he swears by it. So, RJ is making exotic Japanese conchas filled with a mango jam and a passion fruit creme pat.
Our namesake.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote creme pat, because they wrote pastry cream. And I'm like, no, that's creme pat, dog. Get it right. Nicole is making blueberry and almond morning buns made with brioche. Here's your boy. Watch your boy on this one. Brioche is a viennoiserie, as in the style of Vienna. Starts with yeast leavened dough, but also has butter and eggs, which makes for a rich and tenderer, which is a word I'm like, tenderer?
Tenderer.
Okay. As in more tender crumb. Filled with a swirl of blueberry jam and almond cream, topped with cream cheese icing.
I think that was one of T-Pain's recipes.
I want y'all to hear Hold on. I'm gonna say it, and then I want y'all to hear how it's actually said. I kind of wrote it out phonetically for myself. Viennoiserie.
Viennoiserie, French.
Viennoiserie. I kind of got it.
That shit made
my
my
French
mouth
is always
water.
gonna be Spanish because I took Spanish, and so my
Every
it's always
language sounds
gonna
like
lean-
Spanish.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have an accent on mine. It's always
Right.
gonna be a little Spanish. So I'm sorry. Mackenzie's is so upfront that I can't give you more than just the title of it. Goat cheese, blackberry brioche buns.
Right.
That's it.
That's what they are.
I guess they talked about whether it's goat cheese or goat's cheese.
Yeah.
I'm just like, sir, it's goat cheese.
Right.
Just let it be, man. Y'all wildin'. Jen is going for Georgia on my mind sweet buns filled with peach jam and roasted pecans and topped with a bourbon caramel sauce. Was it noticeable to me? Well, no, I will get there. Let's get to some.
Was she getting a winner's at it?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you where I was like, oh, here we go. Nicole is up first. Neat as a pin. Look even, but look dry. A little bit overbaked, but the blueberry and almond are spot on. Just need a little moisture to compensate. That is your story of the week, people. Everybody just a little overbaked again.
A little overbaked.
So,
underproved.
Jen, man, yeah, we'll get there too. Jen, decent uniformity, which is challenging to pull off with a swirl bun. Nice decoration, looks attractive, much more interesting than a cinnamon bun to Dame Prue. Peach really adds something. Cinnamon levels are good and blend well with the peach. Tight texture on the bread, but it breaks apart so it's not too chewy. Delicious. Well done. And here in my parentheses, I have, it was here that it became obvious who was walking out the winner of this episode because they spent a lot of time discussing this particular thing. I just read you what they said about Nicole's. It was done. When I read you everybody else, you're gonna be like, wow, that really ran through quick. And then they get to Jen and they like, let me tell you why you're doing so great, baby. And I'm like, yeah, here we go. RJ up next. And let me tell you this, and again in my parentheses here, 3 weeks straight, RJ has been third up. It becomes noticeable to me because, like I said, my notes are written this way. I'm like, why is he square in the middle 3 weeks straight? I want to know. Look beautiful. The crackling could have used more color. The tartness from the fruit works beautifully. Very surprising as you don't expect a mango passion fruit flavor in the center like that. More donut-esque than concha, but to be able to cut fresh bread as clean as it was very impressive to one Paul Hollywood, who again has been baking bread his entire dang life.
Yes, but does he know concha? Because I feel like the criticism was interesting to me because concha is sometimes like that dark pink, but it's also sometimes it's that pale yellow. It's that whatever. Like my thing is, your opinion should be what was the bake like? Is the crackling? But I get it. It's a baking competition. They want to look at decoration as well,
for sure. But I don't like you. Look, I don't know how much time Paul has spent in Mexico,
right,
or amongst Mexicans whipping up some buns.
Talking about a taco.
Way more than we know. But I've also watched that man try to make Mexican food before, at least, on this particular program, or at least the British equivalent thereof, and it ain't good. So I can't have faith in him when it comes to Mexican dishes. I just can't.
Right. Agree.
Mackenzie's up next. Quite attractive. Donut-like. Cuts like a cake. Quite a chewy dough. Paul doesn't like the dryness of the goat's cheese, but Prue loves the way the goat cheese mingles with the blueberry, which sounds fantastic to me.
Goat cheese and blueberry together, like, yeah, please.
Lamb and tuna fish. Get that joke, you let me know. Chris is up next. So watch the flip. Chris, major issues. That's how they start his little discussion.
Yeah, he was getting a loser edit.
And then they like too much cardamom.
Yeah. Like
far too much. Both proving like, yeah, you wildin'. And then that's it. And we just leave Chris B. Like, your shit was whack, dog. We out. Rayun, attractive. They look so good, y'all.
They were cute. They were so freaking cute.
Yeah. Looks great. Thinner crackling would have made for a better bake in Paul's eyes. but the dough is underbaked. No flavor from the mochi. Let's remember no flavor going forward, okay? Sticky, chewy, gummy texture of mochi is unfamiliar to Prue, and she does not appreciate it. Because she's like, I don't know what I should be getting here. And Paul's like, it ain't no flavor in there. I know you're supposed to be getting some flavor.
Right. He was so mad because it was like the texture was good. It looked good. It was a solid bake, but it didn't taste like anything.
Yeah. But they love the look of them because they are indeed just adorable. Royoon, I hope, goes on to be just one of those. I want her to be like what's our girl? Bake all the damn time. Got like 2 books out now.
Not Sola.
No. Does the Japanese stuff from years back.
I forgot her name, but she was on British.
Yeah.
She has an interesting name. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
I can't remember.
I follow her on the IGs. Is it Kimchi? That's not her name. Her name is Kimchi.
That's a drag queen.
Yeah.
Either way, I want Royoon to take that path because I feel like she has such a good hand at decorating. I feel like her writing books and sharing that kind of stuff. I think it would do great. Kim Joy.
Yes.
Oh,
bruh, I tell you, it had to happen. The brain just had to let it go, and then it arrived. So that was this week's signature. Our tech this week, Nick.
Yes, the technical challenge is set by Paul. He says that they will be familiar with it, so the judges expect perfection. They are making pizza margherita, which has to be 2 hand-stretched round pizzas topped with light tomato sauce, mozzarella cheese, and fresh basil. They have 2 hours to complete the pizzas.
Y'all, Prue tonguing down that pizza when they were sitting and doing the example discussion made me so uncomfortable because she held her head back and was like, I was like, ma'am, what is we doing?
Yeah.
Also, her talking about she want a limp pizza. I feel like that is the opposite of what we do with pizza.
Yeah, but because it's pizza margherita, it's not an American style pizza. They want a real Italian pizza where you pick that thing up and it drops.
But I could have swore margarita was it's the crispy kind because like you do a light sauce. Yeah.
So they're mixing styles, in my opinion. I think that they want like a Napoli?
Yeah.
But they had the margarita toppings.
This why they be putting curry sauce on their dang Chinese food. You can't trust the British, man.
However, that shit smack. That shit smack.
I heard a TikTok day, so I was like, that's why they come over here, eat Panda Express and be crying. I was like, you ain't never lied.
The chips and curry, that shit go.
Hey,
go.
I mean, it's potatoes and a delicious Indian sauce. Come on, bro. It's gonna go because it's gonna go.
Yeah.
I truly have nothing to say about this production of these things. I was just stunned that none of these people seem to really get the idea that a margherita is a super hyper thin pizza.
Yeah.
Cause what baby, what is you doing? That's all I looked at these people. I'm like, so none of y'all made pizza, but you know what? Not everybody worked at a Little Caesars when they was younger like me. So
right.
I mean, I feel like that pizza looked like Cece's pizza. I think it was like it was across the board, all looked different.
It looked good. It was just, I think they took so long in between coming out the oven and the judging that everybody's pizza it was staling.
Look at the life with a little sog. Let's get to judging. Royoon's up first. Too small, too thick, more like bread than pizza. Tastes nice. Needs more proving and stretching.
Maddening.
RJ, strange shape, no proper edge to them, thinner than the first, but not quite there, but nearly. Tomato and mozzarella, delicious, but a bit too salty for Dame Prue. Too thick and too small again. Mackenzie's up next. Dough needs to be rolled out twice as thin as it is. Prove well. Flavor good. Too thick. 2 C's. Chris, too small. Better thinness. Underproof. Nice flavor and it has a bit of a char on it, which they fuck with.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I want to give it up to myself. Just a little pat on my back. I don't think I swore once during that interview. Thank you.
I can't remember if I did or not.
I don't think none of us did. But what you just said about the pizza, the nice char, y'all lying about what y'all want, man. Because you just said like the nice char, the char's supposed to be at the bottom too, and that's part of the pizza.
Well, it's like Nick said, they lean in. They lean. Well, look, they got a British take on it, and I will allow for it.
Okay.
Did I say Jen's?
Look, Dr. Jen.
Dr.
Jen.
Put some respect on Dr. Reyes' name.
Yeah, Dr. Jen.
Like the look, thin in the middle, like the edge, a bit more. I had to been writing even and just wrote oven. Tomato too wet.
How? What does that mean? What does that mean?
Nicole, very neat, slightly overbaked, structure not bad. Like the flavor, still tight, needed more proving. Everybody on this deck here didn't. Well, no, I think they said Mackenzie had a good prove.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else was basically like, y'all all need to prove this longer. And I know what it is. It's the worry, but it's like, it's pizza, baby. And it's skinny pizza if you did it right, which means probably 15 in the oven. Take your time. Let it prove. Get that sauce just right. Well, everybody seems to actually get the flavor just right. And don't even trip. But I don't know what it is. Like I said, I'm not on this set. And so I'm over here making leaps of judgment. Like, still. Let's rank them. But for you, a nice pizza, just not big enough and underproved. Fifth, RJ, don't know what you were doing with this shape. And my man replies, first the pizza ever made. And Paul's like, really? I too am shocked by that because I've made a pizza or two.
I feel like if I knew how to make dough, I would be making pizzas.
Oh, bruh. Dough is so easy. You could crush. If you were ever so inclined,
it's not that, because I made tortillas one time and they came out amazing. It's just it's so labor intensive, and I don't have a lot of room in my kitchen. So like to find a place that's big enough for me to like flour a surface and knead some dough, it's really a lot. It's really a lot.
I'm saying in general, the general making of it,
yeah.
Bro, it's like flour, salt,
and the
water,
stickiness of it was gross to me. Like I went through a lot. I would wear a glove next time.
Yes.
Gloves help with it. So my one thing I did forget, what did they actually cook it on? Did they use a stone or
if they
in
did
the oven? I don't think it was a stone.
Yeah. So I think they should probably use pizza pans. Mackenzie's fourth, Chris's third. Jen, really nice pizza. Needs a bit more proving and a bit more stretching. Nicole, uniform, overbaked, thinness good, needed to be rolled 3 to 4 inches wider.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
They wanted an American large, which is about, I think we'd say about 12 inches.
14.
And they would for
because I just ordered pizza tonight.
There you go. And what they was getting was a mall medium, and that's not what was requested. So let's head on over to the showstopper.
Our showstopper challenge is a tiered Korovai, which is an ornate wedding cake made out of sweetbread. Must be themed or tell a story. It should be creative, intricately decorated, have 3 tiers, and the bottom of which should be at least 12 inches in diameter. They have 4.5 hours to complete.
Sounds like a nice bottom.
Let me tell you the story of a Korovai. It's a traditional Eastern European bread. The bread has ancient origins and comes from the pagan belief in the magical properties of grain. Korovai was a large, round, braided bread, traditionally baked from wheat, flour, and decorated with symbolic flags and figurines such as suns, moons, birds, animals, and pine cones, wheat stalks, herbs, Herbs. Where am I at? Herbs, nuts, flowers, and fruit were used to embellish the Korovai. The bread has no set design, and the style and ornamentation of the Korovai varies by region. Although colors red, gold, and silver were most commonly employed in its decoration. Nick Jew, were you showstop this week?
For what it was, yes. Yeah. But, there's something about bread in a decorative manner that I'm always like, but it's bread.
Look.
It's decorated bread.
Craft an entire lion's
head. It's come on, man. It's kind of hard. I've been to the mountaintop.
And again, that's why this was to me a bit of a mid bread week. Korovai could have been something great. It just, I don't know. I just did not find it to be as great as it possibly could have been.
I mean, you know how I feel about cooking. I didn't so much mind the pizza because it did entail a lot of baking, but the sweet bread challenge on the front and kind of the back end, I was just like, sweet bread, this is America.
Yeah. Which is probably why we eating some sugary ass bread.
Yeah.
I thought this was America.
Right.
Mackenzie's going to try her hand at a 10-year wedding anniversary. Korovai. It's going to be orange and lemon flavored dough, the spiced rum soaked raisins and pineapple. They showed a picture of her getting married, and not to be whatever, but already y'all think Mackenzie look cutie pie, but in her wedding dress,
I don't even remember. That's so funny, and I watched the show like twice. Because Nicole kind of did a tribute to her husband too, right?
Her fiance.
Oh, her affiance. Yes. Her affiance.
Nicole is making a chocolate and orange challah Korovai, inspired by her love of the outdoors and her fiance. 3 tiers of orange and chocolate challah bread, orange flavored dough filled with chocolate chips. Chris, love wins wedding. Chris always got a story. Not always got a story rudely, always got a story, and I love that.
Yeah, with his bakes. Yeah.
In this case, he tells a story of his uncle who had a partner for 40 years, but they could never be married because, it was just that time when we wouldn't let the couples of a certain ilk get married.
Mm-hmm.
And so they named this cake the Love Wins Wedding Korovai. Decorated with butterflies and peacocks is what the VO says. But when I looked at the image they drew, it looked like swans to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked at the finished product and I'm like, them shits is white, but they got long decorative tails.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just a made up bird.
Or peahens.
I know, but peahens is brown. So everything about this, they don't cut it either. Dried cherries and chocolate chips in an almond flavored dough. He went with to flavor the dough with extract, and Paul was like, "I don't get down with the extract." Not the first time he'll say that this episode. Jen kicked cancer in the Korovai. Pink ribbon decorated mixed spiced bread with lemon zest and brandy soaked cherries. Jen was celebrating the fact that her mother had been cancer free for 6 years with this cake, and you gotta love it. Gotta love it. RJ springtime Korovai, an almond flavored dough swirled with poppy seed filling, decorated with a rose bush. We'll get to his win in judging. Rayun, Mid-Autumn Festival Korovai. 4-tiered lunar celebration infused with Nick's fave Earl Grey, candied orange and raisins, and decorated with celestial symbols and buddies. That's my Nick, not they Nick. I want y'all to know that.
It is very weird to hear my name on the television show every week. And then even weirder to hear you say it, but you're not talking about me because y'all call me Nick.
Yeah. I'm supposed to call you, dang it.
Nick works just perfectly fine.
I'm bandy about Nicole. I can't call you by the full title. That feels uncomfortable. I mean, I realize it is the name, but still, it don't seem right. And at this point, I've known you well over a bit decade. Over 10 years.
Yeah. So, it's seriously, it is just an internet thing. Like pre-2013, no one on earth had ever called me Nick, but I don't mind.
Does the world really call you Nicole?
Absolutely.
Your family?
Absolutely.
That is so crazy to me. I shall never. Yes, that is her name, but why would I do that? Why would I use her name? I don't use my name.
Yeah, no, it's like it's very easy to tell how someone knows me by what they call me.
My mama called me TD. Okay, that's the one.
My uncle was TD. His name was Nathaniel, but we called him TD. And my dad we called T.
Here, I'll give you these people. Well, I mean, Anthony know my name, but and
That's
when you heard it was a sword slash. Because I said so. Let's judge these. Creations, we'll go with that. RJ, a bit of a wobble on it. Now, when Paul says that, it's not that it wobbles. It's just it's sitting with a bit of a slight lean, but it's because it's braided bread as Korovais are supposed to be. So really, it makes sense to me.
Like I don't think a lot of people braided maybe two.
Correct.
Yeah.
So good color, nice contrast, lots of poppy seed. So this is where I get a little whatever. So initially, Prue like, yeah, I like that flavor. And she's like, is that marzipan? And RJ's like, oh no, that's just almond extract and almond liqueur. And Paul like, I don't fuck with it. I think it should have been some marzipan. You could have went hard with the marzipan. And then Prue's like, yeah, some marzipan would have been good. But you just told me I like the flavor, Prue.
Well, I think that what she was checking for, because I don't know that she liked the texture. So I think she was about to tell him that he didn't make his marzipan right, if that's what it was. That's the vibe I got off of her. Okay. And plus, like, poppy seeds, I don't know if they offer any flavor profile, but there were like 1 million poppy seeds. And I could imagine just biting into that would have been awkward.
Just a drug test failure, right?
Yeah, okay. You can't take a drug test for like 6 months if they looking for weed, all them damn poppy seeds.
He really whipped up a bowl full of poppy seed pudding. I don't know what you would call that. It was a lot going on there. It did look kind of nice though. That bake was real open. I like the way it looked. And
the swirl in there was really like
clean. Yeah.
Really nice. Yeah.
Chris, it's amazing. They like the decoration and the detail is nice. The impact is, I'm saying, when you see it, y'all, it was real nice. They like it, but they don't love it. It's a little dry. Had the cherries been more evenly distributed, the moisture would have, carried through and not been an issue. But they were not, because things settle. Here's the trick to make your stuff not settle: dust it in flour. You want your chocolate chips not to settle when if you bake with pies or whatever. You want your things not to. A quick little dusting of flour, just a little bit, not a lot. Boom, they kind of float. They kind of get suspended. Trust your boy. Nicole, sticking odd bits on with toothpicks doesn't do it for Mr. Hollywood.
He was like, no, you could have made that into like a little ivy or something, but you really just stuck a bunch of stuff on toothpicks in the bread, and I'm not fucking with it.
Prue looked so frustrated before proclaiming, tastes dry. She looked mad. Like she danced last week when she ate old boys whatever. This week she's like, get the fuck out. It was a real like Prue was like just mad about it. Took that bite, was like, this is so dry. Damn. You have to put something quite moist and juicy in there to balance the dryness of the crumb. A thick chocolate sauce as opposed to chocolate chips would have made for a moister bread. I don't know how one would have integrated that into that without it. Whatever. They are bakers and they seem to know. Where you love the look of it. I would have liked more design on the bread itself rather than, again, dead dough just stuck onto it. But y'all,
it was cute.
The designs of this dead dough, it was gorgeous. She made these bunnies and just moons.
She did all that and didn't put no goddamn salt in the bread. Can you imagine? Because like when I got on the watch list of like watch your sodium and my doctor was like bread, I'm like, bread? She's like, yes, bread has a gang of salt in it. And just thinking about what makes bread taste good, it's the salt and the butter and things. And I can't imagine biting into some like saltless bread.
A delicious flavor is what Prue initially says, right? But pale. And then Paul's like, it's bland. And then he says, how much salt did you put in this? And I want y'all to feel this. Think about what I'm telling you right now. A 4-tiered structure of bread.
Mm-hmm.
4 tiers with a bottom tier that has to be at least 12 inches. And they say to her, how much salt did you put in this? And this woman says, half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon.
For the whole thing, for all the dough.
Paul was like, oh, this is why this. He goes, not only does it not taste good, it affects the actual structure of the bread because there's not enough salt to do what salt does and brings to a bake. It was so upsetting.
Yeah.
But she basically was like, I early on was like, yo, bro, if I survive this bread week, bro, I'm going to let you know it will be by the skin of my teeth, baby.
She didn't think she had it.
Yeah. And she didn't. And I wonder if she just, look, Curse is a star baker. It is the thing that happens with enough regularity on this show that you know what it is. In my opinion, and it's just an opinion, and if she's ever on the show, I'm sure we'll talk about it. If you feel you're coming through a little weak, I guess, I think you got to practice more then.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you got to be like, taste this. Come here, come down here and take like it's like that way. You're like, oh, yeah, you need some salt. But I don't know, man. Bread is so funky and weird. You know what I'm saying? Because then you get some bread, cut it up, throw some butter on that shit. Bam, there's salt that you needed for flavor, but it's not for the structure of the bread and so forth. So I don't know, man. It's very upsetting. Mackenzie, they like the color. They like the color on it. Not much filling in there. Slightly overbaked, but they love the flavor and would have loved to have more pineapple. So it was filled with pineapple and what did she put in her dang bake? It was pineapple and rum-soaked raisins. And I'm telling you right now, I didn't see a single speckle of raisins. So if it was maybe she used golden raisins.
Yeah.
And they just, wasn't showing up. But Paul and Prue were like, yo, it do taste good. And, it's pretty tasty. But like you said, you got to hit that bad boy. And I don't guarantee it, but I would not doubt if next week she takes that advice and if she's going to be putting anything in it, then she's going to be like, bam, we're going to hit that bitch like Emerald. Hit it with the spice. These oils are. Jim's bringing up the rear here. Like the look. The
It's
pink
beautiful.
in the bread creates a lovely illusion to go along with the dead dough. Because you were saying you do use dead dough to decorate, but you also, by having an element of that matches color baked into it, makes the whole thing look better together.
Mm-hmm.
They like the flavor. It's in Paul's mind. It's reminiscent of a hot cross bun. Would love to toast and butter a slice. Prue was like, yeah, that would be it. And I'm like, yeah, that dude,
Hitting.
that would be it. You ain't wrong.
Hitting.
And like I said, you do that, you'd be over. You'd be all good. Slight overbake on the outside. But other than that, Jen did, to me, I feel like Jen this week not proved why she should be in the 10. But these last 2 weeks, it's been like, girl.
Right.
Last week, like I said, I did argue, in fact, on this very program, you might have should have went home.
Well, the week that Brad went home, she was surprised that she stayed, actually.
Yeah. But this week, I feel like she really, really came back and did the thing. And I'm like, okay, I see you. And now I have a better understanding of you as a baker. And so
now RJ and Chris have been middling.
Yes. Chris's buns, I guess the morning.
He did have a great, he did have a great bun.
No, Chris had awful buns.
No, what did he have that they liked? His showstopper, yeah?
Yeah. But his buns remember, they did not rise at all.
Oh, right. They were super flat.
Yeah. And I was like,
but he didn't do a second proof.
I don't understand why people are, and I get it. Maybe they practice and it worked in a practice.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is years of science. Remember, baking is a science, people. This is not cooking. You can kind of play with, but baking is a science. And science has said, prove that bitch twice.
Yeah.
Because it works. And it's whatever. Hey, Chris didn't go nowhere this week because his showstopper, and I think he came in the middle in tech. Yeah, came in third. So right in the middle for tech. Or I guess the top half of the table, if you really want to say. And so who goes home this week but Roy Yoon? But let's put some respect on our star baker this week, who is one Jen. And again, I appreciate it. I actually do love that she kind of showed out this week.
Yeah.
I should have never said I loved Roy Yoon. It's really kind of my fault when you think about it.
You kind of janky, friend.
So I'll not throw my support behind any baker in this situation. I'm just saying Mackenzie a cutie pie. That's all I'm saying. we got RJ, we got Chris, we got Nicole, we got Mackenzie, and we got Jen left for next week. Okay, we got a vibe going on.
It's Mackenzie's to lose going into second half. When we stop recording, I will tell y'all a small spoiler that I caught. That won't ruin results, but yeah.
All good. Well, folk, if you had to ask these people a question of the week, what would your question of the week be?
Question of the week. Question. Favorite restaurant. Oh, do we? Oh, I think we did that already. Favorite restaurant bread.
Just let me know your favorite bread. Especially, you know what I'm saying? The pandemic really brought out the sourdough heads. But I want to know what bread is you like, yo, that bread right there do some things.
I will forever be a ciabatta man.
I'm a Dutch Crunch girl.
Dutch Crunch.
I thought that was it. You can't get it here.
I thought Dutch Crunch. Well, I have to do some research. I thought Dutch Crunch was a cake.
When I go to the Bay Area, that is my only goal. I just want some Dutch Crunch. I want a sandwich made on Dutch Crunch bread.
Is it something you can make? Not you per se, but I mean,
I'm sure it's just bread.
I'll look into it.
And you can't have a lot of it because it really like tears up your roof of your mouth.
What's going on in the Dutch Crunch? What they crunching with?
Hold on. I just saw something that said Dutch Crunch DC and I got super excited. So I have to do a little research. There you go.
To the chat. So it's a Bay thing, right?
Yeah.
Man, that looks so familiar.
It almost looked like a cracked lean on top of that bad boy.
It's not that? Though. It's just the bread. But it's incredible. But it will like Captain Crunch the roof of your mouth.
If you were asked to ask a New Yorker or even someone in LA or Seattle what Dutch Crunch is and what makes it so special, you would likely get a blank stare. Although it hasn't yet caught on nationally, this crusty, dense sandwich bread is wildly popular, but also very controversial here in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's become a regional staple and can now be found in many delis alongside its more classic bread counterparts like sourdough. Dutch Crunch is an oblong white roll. Its distinct golden brown crinkle crust makes eating it a great sensory experience. And for those interested in that sort of thing, autonomous sensory meridian response, or ASMR. Its soft middle molds to whatever ends up inside the sandwich, but the cracked top remains strong, giving your sandwich both shape and a perfectly crunchy texture.
A roast beef with some sprouts and tomatoes and spicy mustard on Dutch Crunch, brother.
If I'm not mistaken, Slotchkis used to use Dutch Crunch bread.
Bruh.
That's where I remembered it from.
I was just talking to Ness about Schlotzky's the other day. Because, of course, it is now a Chipotle over there by Box's house. They use Schlotzky's. The nice golden brown you see on Dutch Crunch roll comes from what we call Maillard browning, explains Chow. It's a reaction that happens when heat combines with the rice flour and sugar. The crust is made up of rice flour, sugar, oil, water, and yeast combined together into a paste and painted on top of the bread. Together, these ingredients create an entirely different texture than the rest of the bread, transforming an otherwise regular roll into a little bit of magic. Rice flour does not contain gluten and has more carbs than the forms of various starches, creating the perfect crinkle top when baked. The starches and sugars are what create a crispy texture when exposed to the heat in the oven. I'm telling you, Nick, it's the crack lane only. No. It looked good too, y'all.
It's good as hell.
Real good. Did the Dutch Crunch in DC yield you any examples?
No, it was just a bunch of people on fucking Yelp being like, I wish this place had Dutch Crunch.
Lord. I mean, I'm not saying that it's easy because I'm not a bread baker, but it does seem to be something that can be done. I'm gonna holler at my little sis. Well, Vanessa's little sis, but I'm gonna holler at her and see if she can hook that up.
That would be amazing.
So,
but it is one of those breads that it will get extremely too difficult to eat very quickly. Like I don't know if it would ship well.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Oh, I'll throw some water on that bitch and put it in the toaster.
You better put some water on that shit.
Put some water on that goddamn shit.
All right, what's our poll for the week?
You up? No.
Something bread related. Sweet buns, yes or no? Sweet bread, actually, yes or no on sweet bread.
All right, I'm gonna put in parentheses. Not what is it? Not organ meat.
Yeah, it's 2 words. We were having that discussion on the show because Reggie had never had an everything bagel.
Oh.
And his favorite bagel is like a raisin cinnamon or blueberry.
Raisin.
Like,
mine too. With respect on it, but it was wild to me that this man had never had an everything bagel.
Yeah, it's very Nigerian to like sweet bread. I feel like
I absolutely despise an everything bagel.
Oh,
I blame it on a buddy I used to have that I used to work with who would get an everything bagel and then talk a little too close.
Oh no! And he was a fire-breathing dragon.
And boy, he like you got too much hot bagel action going on that you be having this much conversation this close to me.
It's tricky because if you heat it too much, you might burn some of the bits on the outside, and if you put it in the microwave, they get a little like sticky and weird. So there is a science to heating up the everything bagel.
Look, jalapeno cheddar bagel.
I mess with that too. But now that I'm on the other side of 40, not so much on the jalapenos.
God. I had had a bagel I might have had a bagel earlier this year because Vanessa was on a bagel kick, but nah.
Another very simple thing to make. You just have to like put it in boiling water. Apparently, yeah.
I go, of course.
Yes.
I want you right now. I know, Nick. This might make you gross, but still.
All right.
Cinnamon raisin bagel. With egg, cheese, and turkey sausage?
No, the concept is not foreign to me. It's just the fact that them raisins get a little mushy and sticky and weird in the bagel.
Why is raisins around?
Yeah, they got a weird case. They got a weird texture.
Yeah, I do love everything bagel. It's a Burger's not too far from me, and like getting there in the morning and getting a fresh one. I never experienced a fresh one until like 2 years ago, and it is life changing. Like having a hot bagel, and running home.
Yeah, and now that I eat raw fish, a little lox, some capers, a little tomato with that sour cream. Now you're talking about something.
The bagels and lox, spaghetti. Oh, they closed Einstein. Okay, so once the venture capitalist group, that owns Panera, absorbed Einstein Bagels, and in my city they were right across the street from each other. They closed the Einsteins, and all we got is the Panera in this city. It's like it's an Einstein. It was. I wonder if it's still open. Down the way a little bit, so I might be able to roll up the road a little bit. But that's who you want to. That's who. If you had an Einstein Bagels around your neck of the woods. I mean, look, if you live like, in a good city that, has good, bagel manufacturer, don't bother with the little chains. But all I got is the chains around here. So,
I know this is inside baseball. Have you been to the Cleveland Bagel?
No, but they're supposed to be building one local. So sooner than later, I'm supposed to have one near me.
Man, the Cleveland Bagel is literally like 7 minutes from your house.
Hey, man, that's 7 minutes up the road plus a line of people trying to cop bagels. When I'm supposed to get one that's like 2 minutes from the house.
Right. Okay, all right.
So I just got to be patient. It'll be here. Hey, y'all, we just got down with the podcast. I had a delight. I had a really good time, y'all. Not that I don't always have a good time, but it's a little extra sprinkle of good time on it because Aunt Whitney was supposed to be here tonight.
Right.
I'm not even supposed to be here. And he still came through. And thank you for that, good sir.
Oh, thank you. I'm so hungry.
Wrapping it up. That's the homie Nick Jew, a fresh What's the Tea drop that I have not listened to yet because I didn't know it dropped because my podcast app only gave it to me now. But you know what? Again, Spotify should have told you, boy, because Spotify do be popping up to be like, hey, man, there's some new this on there. But there it is with the blue dot next to it. Also, I'm considering getting rid of Spotify. I'm in the midst of conversation with my family and crossing over to Apple.
Do it.
It's just I'm gonna miss my playlist. I've been in the ecosystem so long to leave it is a lot.
You won't miss them. I because Apple is gonna be intuitive and learn you super quickly, and they're gonna send you some playlists every day. Like, here's the stuff you've had on repeat. Here's stuff we think you might like based on what you've been listening to. So
that was a concern of my youngest. So I will inform them that that's a thing that happens. So, but also we can still have our accounts. We just
I mean, I don't pay for Spotify and all my playlists are still there. So it's not like I can't, like some of them I can only listen to on the web. I can't listen to on the app, but you have them all right there. You can just recreate them on Apple Music.
Fair. So that's what's popping. Anyway, it's fresh What's the Tea out there. Go listen to it. Get down with the get down. Okay, by the time you get this, it won't be so fresh no more, but it wouldn't have staled. See what I did there? That's the homeboy. And happy birthday to him. Except by the time you hear this, it would have been a day past. But still, you know what it is. It's my man's. Happy birthday.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm going to be celebrating by possibly having some buffalo wings. We'll see.
Nice.
You going to be at the house?
Am I going to be home?
Yeah.
You know I don't know that.
Well, a friend of ours is graduating that day, so I'm going to her graduation. So I don't think we're going to record Skim this week anyway. So I might just slide over there and bring your present through. So I'm just saying.
I'll definitely be home. Well, I guess we could talk about this after your stuff is recorded.
Worry not. It's all good. I am the Internet's Tabriel, 713. Keep on baking with us, baby. See you again next time. Peace.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.